So we are now going to move on, and we are going to get right into this debate topic that we have amongst the three of us. So today's topic of the day is, who are your top NBA players currently, top five, and why do you have them at that selection or even that spot? So I'm gonna let Sebastian go first.
No,
on
I'm
this.
last. I'm last today. I'm last today. I'm last.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
Blake, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Okay, so are we gonna go in? Do you want five in order, or like 1 through 5, or do you
Go
just want
five
any?
up. Go five
Go
up. Go
five.
five up. Five,
One.
four, three, two, one.
Okay, all right. So this number 5 is already gonna stir up some controversy. But at number 5, I've got my boy Dame Dalla, best point guard in the league. No hate to Steph Curry, but I think Dame is got the reins now. He's the best PG. And at number 4, this could also be controversy, not because he's there, but because of how low he is. I've got LeBron at number 4 on my list. And then at number 3, I've got Giannis coming in. Big man for the Bucks. He's been huge in the playoffs. He's had great regular seasons. Number 2, I've got Jokic, MVP of the league this year. I think he's going to come out and he's going to show it next year that it wasn't a fluke of a year. He's been continuing to be great. And at number 1, I've got the boy, the 7-foot sniper, Kevin Durant.
Oh, see,
Kevin
I
Durant
thought you were gonna
is
go with
the best
Kawhi.
player
Okay.
in the league. Kevin Durant is the best player in the league. He's the best scorer in the league. He is the man. And that's why I've got him at number 1. And I guess do you want me to further explain the list before we get onto your list, Montana?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so the reason I've got Dame over Steph is mainly because of age and being able to stay on the floor. Yes, everyone wants to give credit to Steph for leading the league in points this year, but guess what he didn't do? Lead his team to the playoffs. Dame's been doing it. Dame did it in the bubble last year when everyone doubted him. Everyone doubted him, saying, guess what? The Blazers weren't going to make it. They weren't going to do anything. So what did he do? He got him there. He did it this year. I don't think that Dame has that much better of a cast that the Warriors do. Yes, I understand that there's no Klay Thompson. I'm not hating on Steph Curry here. No doubt. I love Steph. I love what he does. He's a great scorer, but I just think Dame is a better player now. I think Dame is right now currently at the middle of his prime. Curry's towards the end of his prime. I can only expect a couple more years of Steph doing what Steph's going to do. Like I said, that's no hate. Now, moving on to 4, the reason I have LeBron so far down the list is I think we're finally seeing Father Time catch up to him. Now, I'm not going to be here saying that LeBron's not going to be great anymore. I mean, he's number 4 on the list for a reason. He's a superstar. He's a great player. He's going to effortlessly go out there and give you 27 points, 9 assists, 10 rebounds. That's just what LeBron's going to do. But I just don't think he's a top 2 player in the league anymore. I think that the reason I have Giannis in front of him is because we're seeing Giannis blossom in front of us. Yes, he still doesn't have that great of a jump shot, but he's proving this playoffs that it doesn't matter. He is proving this playoffs that it just doesn't matter that he doesn't have a jump shot. Because guess what? Bucks are in the Eastern Conference Finals. They're down 0-1, but I expect them to win the series. Moving on, we've got Jokic at number 2, not only because he's the MVP, but I just think he does everything offensively well. We haven't seen the center pass like he does. We haven't seen any player in general be able to pass and score like he does. Maybe LeBron James. Yes, LeBron James can pass the ball really well, but I think Jokic is really turning himself on. I think the Nuggets next year are going to be one of the teams to beat. When they're fully healthy, they have that squad back. Jokic is going to be leading them. You're going to have Jamal as the second best player on that team. MPJ's been doing his thing. The Nuggets are going to be the team to beat. And I think I don't need to explain Kevin Durant. I mean, why should I have to explain Kevin Durant? No one can stop that man, and I think that's what makes you the number 1 player in the league. If you can't get stopped, how aren't you the number 1 player? And not only that, I saw something this playoffs that I don't always see from Kevin Durant. He played good defense. He proved me wrong. I thought he was a lazy defender. He didn't really care. But he proved guess what? When Giannis got on him, he locked them up a couple times. Yes, they lost that series against the Bucks, but it was not Kevin Durant's fault. That man was playing every minute of the last 2 or 3 games, and he deserves all of the credit for for the Nets even being there. Because guess what? The superstars that they brought to help Kevin Durant did not show up in that series. Kyrie was injured, which is why he didn't show up. James Harden, even though he was on one leg, he was not putting up anything to help Kevin Durant, really. I mean, I don't think he scored more than 21 times in that series, which is no hate on James Harden. Like I said, he was playing on one leg. But Kevin Durant is the best player in the league. I think he has been for a couple of years. Yes, he came off that Achilles injury, which everyone thought was going to downgrade him. But guess what? He proved everybody wrong. He proved that the Achilles injury wasn't going to set him back. He's still a lethal scorer. He still can score from anywhere on the basketball court, and which is why I have Kevin Durant at number 1.
All right. So here is my official top 5 NBA players. So I'm going to put Luka Doncic at number 5 for the point guard of the Dallas Mavericks. At number 4, I'm going to put Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Milwaukee Bucks, small forward. At number 3, I'm going to put Stephen Curry, Golden State Warriors point guard. Number 2, I'm going to put LeBron James at small forward for the Los Angeles Lakers. And number 1, I'm going to agree with you on this one. Kevin Durant is the number 1 player in basketball. He has been for a while now. Every time him and LeBron, the reason I put KD at 1 and LeBron at 2 is because every time they match up with each other in the finals, at least recently, has gone Kevin Durant's way almost the whole entire time. LeBron, he's still number 2 in my eyes just because he hasn't really slowed down, in my opinion. Yes, maybe this year he has taken a step back, but you can contribute that to maybe the injuries are starting to pile up on his body a little bit, that he hasn't really gotten it going for the Lakers last season. But again, they won the championship the year before. LeBron was playing at a high level then inside the NBA bubble. Yes, people are going to say, oh, but he had rest before that. He had a couple months of rest before he had to go back and play in the bubble. And yeah, he did. But yet again, they went the distance. They beat the Miami Heat in 6 games in the NBA Finals. Literally a month and a half after that, they had to go right back into the NBA season. Didn't really have much of an off season. So yeah, the injuries are going to be there. He's going to have plenty. He has plenty of time now to recover, get ready for next season. There's no reason in my mind that he's still not the number 2 player in basketball. As far as Steph Curry goes at number 3, anytime a player gets doubled up at half court, what do you expect for a player to do at that point? Because you're either getting rid of the basketball or you're trying to do too much. And he's obviously didn't want to try and do too much, because if he does that, he's going to be forcing up horrible shots. And that's not something that a good NBA basketball player does. He tries to get his teammates involved. Yes, he likes to run around the court a lot and get open, but he's the best shooter that we've seen in the NBA in a long time. He's the best point guard in the NBA. In my opinion, he's the best point guard. I expect when Klay Thompson comes back next year, the Warriors are going to be a top-level team, because that whole doubling Steph Curry at half court, it's going to stop, because you can't do that and leave Klay Thompson wide open. And I believe that Curry as an individual player is going to go down as one of the top 5 players in NBA history. The guy changed the way basketball is played. He's done so many things to inspire kids around the world. He's a 3-point marksman, and in my opinion, he's the best shooter of all time, no, hands down. He's gonna go down setting records that no one's ever gonna beat in their lifetime. Number 4, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Obviously, he's a 2-time NBA basketball MVP. He's leading his team right now in scoring, rebounding, all the statistical categories that you can think of. He's crazy. The guy is a freak of nature. Obviously, they call him the Greek freak for a reason. Guys are walking triple-double at any moment in any given time. Number 5, Luka Doncic. The guy, he's been around the game of basketball for the longest time. I believe he played for who? Who did he play for in
Real Madrid?
Real Madrid, yeah. He's been playing since what? He was like 15 or something. Yeah, 15. So he's been around seasoned basketball players for a while now. There's a reason why he's doing what he's doing at his age in the NBA. I expect him to win an MVP at some point in the next 2 or 3 years. I even expect the Dallas Mavericks, if they get one more piece, or to be a contender for the Western Conference, because they're right there in my opinion. They had the Clippers on the ropes in round 1. They just couldn't finish the job, and that's season experience that Luka Doncic is going to take. That he's lost 2 times now the last 2 years to the Clippers in round 1, but I expect that to change. And yeah, that's my top 5 list right there. Sebastian, what do you got?
You know, this is a very controversial list. All right. Now, this was a hard number 5 spot. It was either going to be Dame Dalla or Nikola Jokic. Yes, I understand Jokic is dummy low on that list, but I didn't know who to put. So I went with my man Dame Dalla for the simple fact that he's Dame Dalla. The man needs some help. You know what I'm saying? With Jokic, he's going to have Jamal Murray come back, and he has MPJ with very high ceiling coming in, on that squad. Now, a Dame, the man doesn't got no help. It's clearly CJ McCollum. That crap does not work. That needs to go. And so I think Dame carrying that load, doing what he does and what he has done with absolutely zero help, deserves to be in the top 5, which is why he is my number 5th spot. Now, number 4, like Montana mentioned, Luka Doncic. All right. Yes, he's not number 5. Wow, my bad. He's number 4. All right. The man has been stellar. The man has been literally easily has to be everybody's top 5 list because of the performance he has been contributing for that squad and showing out to the world the type of player that he's able to be. Number 3, I agree with you, Mr. Blake. Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think there's no question about it. The man, like Montana said, is a walking triple-double. The man literally can score at ease with his 6'11", big body, head ass. And so, yeah, I mean, there's no debating about that, deliberation, whatever you need. He has to be in this top 5, especially as a 2-time MVP, like Montana said, and all that crap. Number 2, the GOAT himself, Mr. Steph Curry. I think Steph Curry needs to be on this list, and yes, it is number 2, and I'll explain why. Because the fact that this man, especially this year, 32 points a game, right? I think it was 1 point behind or 1 point ahead of Bradley Beal, whatever the case may be. The man is literally carrying this team, trying to get them into the playoffs. Without Klay Thompson, I think this team is literally a top 5, maybe top 4 in the West. And so once the fact that he's been dealing with no Klay Thompson for the last 2 years, I think we'll see a completely different team if and only if the wonderful man Klay Thompson can come back and actually play. And then number 1, I think we can all agree, Mr. Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is beyond words the type of athlete that he is. The fact of the matter that he came back from that Achilles injury and performed at the level that he did perform and carry this team the way that he has carried this team. Yes, he also obviously had James Harden and he obviously had Kyrie Irving, but in the postseason, he didn't have both of them at the same time. And so the performance that he did in the postseason, I think we have to credit that and give him the success. The reason being LeBron is not on this list is because in my eyes, LeBron is in the GOAT category, which is completely irrelevant to the top 5 in the NBA. LeBron is the GOAT of this generation, and that's hands down. If you disagree, then you're smoking crack. But he's the GOAT, so in my eyes, he cannot be on this top 5 list at all. He cannot be in a top 5, top 10, whatever this. He is in a completely different category, and that category is labeled GOAT, and that's where LeBron deserves to be.
Wait, time out. So if he's in a whole category above himself, he's the number 1 player in the league to you then?
Well, if you want to look at it in that aspect, yes. But in my top 5, it is Kevin Durant, Curry, Giannis, Luka, Dame. The reason LeBron is in the GOAT category by himself is the simple fact that at the age that he is, playing at the way that he is, ain't nobody doing that. And we're not going to see somebody like this he's a generational ass player. The man is, like I said, the second greatest of all time, even though, a lot of people have him over MJ. The man went to 10 straight finals? Or was it 9 straight, 10 straight, whatever the case may be? I don't think we're going to see that from somebody like that ever again in the sense of anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? Everybody hated LeBron. Everybody loves LeBron. There's love-hate. You're always talking about LeBron. LeBron lives in Skip Bayless's head rent-free. So I think the fact of the matter is the man is a GOAT, right? A lot of kids look up to LeBron in the sense of him being their GOAT. So he's in a completely different conversation, a completely different category than the top 5. And so that's why GOAT category, LeBron James, top 5, KD, Curry, Giannis, Luka, Dame.
But looking at the league today, is LeBron? You said no one. I know. He's the GOAT of this generation. There's no argument with that.
Yes.
And no one's done what he's done at his age and how many seasons he's played. But that doesn't answer the question. In his age and current state, is he still the best basketball player? Not in terms of what he's done, but right now, is he the best basketball? Is he better than Kevin Durant right now?
Listen,
Because
that's not where I'm labeling it. He's in a completely different category. You cannot put LeBron James because you're comparing people that are in basically their primes or in the towards the end of their
point
primes.
Of this conversation, though. That's
but
the point
okay,
of the
so
conversation.
I'm explaining to you. LeBron James cannot be categorized in the top 5 because if you're going to look at whatever the hell, all these players that are performing now, right? If you're going to look at all of this, LeBron has taken a step back in his role and has had to deal with Anthony Davis and giving Anthony Davis the reins of the Lakers team as a whole. So LeBron James, as great of a player as he is, needs to be categorized elsewhere because, like, bro, in my eyes, this is all obviously my opinion, he's the greatest player to touch the basketball right now in the like what, a 20-year span. So, with that being said, the man cannot be categorized anywhere else. GOAT conversation, period.
Montana, I think what I'm hearing is Sebastian right now does not have LeBron in his top 5.
Oh no, LeBron is my okay, fine. Okay, go ahead. Continue talking. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it just seems like you're having like an excuse to not put him in your top 5, but you're saying he's in a different category. But then you're also saying that players right now are in better in their prime, but you can't compare it because he's older. But that's the point of the conversation. Like, either got him in your top 5 or you don't. I don't want to hear this. Oh, if he's in another category, then he's your clear number 1 in my opinion. But it sounds like he's not your clear number 1 best player in the league right now.
He's in a different conversation. It's plain and simple. He's in a different category. Period.
So some notable snubs that we have off our list at the moment. We have Kawhi Leonard, that is not on our top 5 list. Another guy on my not top 5 list is Damian Lillard, Nikola Jokic. We could even look at guys like Jason Tatum, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker. Some notable snubs here. What do you guys think? Do they have any shot to crack the top 5 at any point?
Yes. I don't think that a couple of those players you just named, I don't think D-Book is a top 5 player right now. I think there's an argument for him to be made for top 10, 100%. But top 5, I don't think he even has an argument at this point. Not yet. I think he will be later on in his career because D-Book is a bucket. He's a great player. He's proving that right now. This series he hasn't played well yet other than game 1. But the rest of the playoffs he has. But I don't think he has an argument for top 5. Not yet, at least.
Kawhi Leonard doesn't have an argument?
I don't know. Kawhi's difficult to read because Kawhi, yes, people are going to hate on him for sitting out a lot of games for rest management. He's been injured now in the playoffs, sadly, which is affecting how the Clippers are playing. I think he has an argument to be in top 5 for sure. But for me, I think if we're looking at impact that they have on the team, look what the Clippers are doing without him. I don't want to discredit Kawhi because they're definitely a better team with Kawhi playing than they are without him playing. But the Clippers are playing good basketball. Scratch that. They're playing great basketball without him. We're seeing the Clippers being able to win games against the best teams in the league without their so-called best player. So for me, if you are a top 5 player in the league, if you remove yourself from a team, that team should be much worse, in my opinion. If you're a top 5 player and you get removed, my top 5, you remove Kevin Durant from the Nets. They don't do nearly as well. You remove Jokic from the Nuggets. They're a first-round exit easily. You remove Giannis from the Bucks, first-round exit. You remove LeBron from the Lakers. Maybe they're not in the playoffs. You remove Dame from the Blazers. They're definitely not in the playoffs. But right now, as the Clippers have removed Kawhi Leonard from their lineup, well, I shouldn't say they removed him. He's injured, so he's not in their lineup. They're in the Western Conference Finals. They beat the Jazz without Kawhi Leonard in the last 2 games. They just beat the Suns in game 3. They had a chance to beat them in game 1 and game 2. They kind of choked both of those games off. So my opinion is Kawhi's just not a top 5 player. Not right now. I think he's a top 10 player 100%. But to be a top 5 player, I don't want to discredit him because the Clippers are having success without him. But I think that just proves that he's just not a top 5 player right now.
Sebastian, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah, like in my list, you take Curry away from that squad, they're not making the playoffs, which they didn't anyways. You take Giannis off that, like Blake said. For example, Luka, you take him off that squad, they don't.
Dallas doesn't make the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. They don't make that. They don't make that playoffs. So with Dame, you already said it, Blake, and then obviously you already said the same thing with KD. There's just nothing really else to address. Kawhi, I was gonna put him at 5, but then it's like I thought about Dame, and so with how the Clippers are playing, at least they're proving that honestly that team shouldn't be what they finished 4th. Well, they're number 4 seed right now, or were they 5th?
The Clippers?
Yeah,
I think they were the 4th seed.
The 4th seed. I think.
Yeah, so I think we're clearly seeing that Clippers team should have finished 1 or 2, and they just decided to tank the last couple weeks of the season, and so they got a better matchup, and so they're proving to the NBA that they are the better team, and they should have been the better team. They're just they tweaked it and decided, let me just get that Dallas Mavericks matchup round 1.
Yeah, but they almost blew that, so it doesn't make any sense. But okay.
They didn't. But they
didn't.
I guess they did not.
I guess they did not.
Alrighty, I guess that's going to be it for our top 5 NBA players topic. Obviously, there is a lot of other NBA honorable mention snubs that were left off our top 5 list. Let us know in the comments who you think could be off our list and who should be on the list.